We typically, there's kind of no rules to how the guitar parts come about. The songs typically start with Chester kind of on an acoustic guitar, kind of strumming some, really, pretty
basic.
Pretty simple stuff. And then we kind of take it from there and kind of try to do something, maybe take it to another level as far as the guitar parts. And it just really kind of depends on who's around.
There's a lot of sitting in the studio and sort of like handing the guitar down the line of people. And it's not just me and Amir, actually. It's, Chester will have like an idea, but he won't be able to play it because he's not a real guitar player. But he'll have an idea, and then it won't really be a real guitar part yet. And then we'll hand it to Amir, and he'll hand it to me, and then we'll sit there. We'll sit in a line on the couch, and we'll hand it over to Fu. So literally, we can sit there and do that for an hour and a half. And usually get frustrated and not come up with anything. But
typically the final execution is one of us.
Yeah. Sometimes there's stuff that he can play. Like, he's a better guitar player than me, technically. I think more like a singer. So I'll think of melodic stuff. And live, he'll actually play the parts in addition to his complicated parts. So that I can sing and play.
Yeah.
So I'll play real basic stuff, So I can sing along with it.
One of the things I know that I tried to do with some of the guitar parts was, I think in order for them to sort of go to another level as far as sort of inspiring Chester to come up with a vocal part, because sometimes even he would be like, oh, I don't know, maybe this isn't good. We always call it cracking the code of the song, finding that thing that makes all of a sudden everything comes together, and sometimes you'll struggle there, and then one thing will do it, With some of these things is find guitar parts that sort of counterbalance, like what he was playing, that's the chorus to Inside of Me, right?
Mm-hmm. Tuned incorrectly, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing it, we play it drop, but I just played it standard.
So, the chords for the chorus are pretty simple, but then I came up with a thing that is completely opposite of what's going on musically with the rest of it. You'd have to tune. Can you play it without it?
Yeah, I can play it without it, yeah.
Okay.
3, 4.
See how that works? Like that
sounds
part,
like a fucking broken glass.
Play your part. Play your part on its own. And then this part. It sounds like two completely different songs, but when you put it together, it creates this sound, and once we did that, Chester had a vocal. The whole song came together. It's actually, in my opinion, I think it's one of the best songs.
Yeah, definitely.
Best choruses on the record. And, it's things like that we do, both of us do that, where we'll twist it.
We really play two ways in Dead by Sunrise, drop D and standard. And we do a lot of drop D because Chester tends to ride a lot in drop D.
Yeah. It's easy to play that way.
Yeah, it is really.
I think he likes, it's really
It's a singer's way to play.
Yeah.
Because you can, just one finger just kind of go, hey, I'm singing, and then I go, and I'm singing this now, and then this, and then this, and it's just kind of easy, So
a lot of the songs are, I don't know if it's half the songs, but it's almost
half the songs are drop D.
It's about half.
Just enough to make it frustrating on stage because we have to change guitars all the time.
And the bass too.
Yeah, the bass is tuned like 3 different ways or something.
When we first did the song, it started with this thing that I was doing. So that's all. There was like 3 different parts that I played in the studio. He now plays one of them, and then I'm playing one of them, and then actually Fu, our keyboard player, actually hits a one shot of a little, just it's like a little teeny guitar part.
Like an effect. I sing on some of those parts, so I play a really, cool root part, and he plays a more complicated rhythm.
So we kind of play together at the beginning, and then we switch off.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's another example of like playing the main rhythm with me, and then he also plays that part. Yeah. So it's like a dance.
Yeah,
you know? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't know why, but I just had this idea because I've always wanted to do a harmonic solo. But to do one that's original is very difficult because there's not that many notes to choose from. So it was like I started it off and I had the beginning, but then it was like, it was a nightmare. Yeah, it took forever. And the other thing that's weird about it is that the notes, like when you're playing it, the way the notes sound, it doesn't feel, once again, it doesn't feel right for what it looks like. So when I'm playing it, it's like, it throws me off almost because it's just weird. But it's very simple to play. It's just awkward when you're listening and watching at the same time. It doesn't look right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Figure that one out because I wanted it to be melodic, like a melody, and there's not a lot of options. Well, that song was one of the ones that actually came together probably the fastest of anything that we did. Chester playing on the acoustic, came up with it initially, and it was really simple, and it just felt like it should stay like that. So that's how we recorded it, and then we added in the synth textures and all that, and I just immediately heard like it needed slide guitar. I think that whatever's on there as well was just like a little vox that was all sort of improvised and then kind of put together around Chester's vocals. It was a beautiful song that he wrote for his wife. He actually played that song at his wedding. They danced, that was their first dance for their wedding. It just seemed to fit the vibe of what was going on there. It was a sound that I came up with on the MS-20, which is a vintage synthesizer.
Oh, that sound.
It was I was just playing it like we just chop it in Pro Tools. So it may have been run through a guitar pedal as well and then chopped so that it makes it more kind of a very orgy-esque sort of trick. Yeah. But it creates a signature sort of thing. I'm always big on that, like right from the beginning of the song, that something happens that you immediately know that like what band that is.
All we do is come in on the...
Yeah.
So
it's a
keyboard in the background.
Part.
Yeah. That song is definitely pretty punk rock. Ready?
Hold on, let me think. What is that one? Oh, okay. All right. It's all feedback after that. Okay, so the intro and the verse, is that what you said? Okay. Hard to do it with without the channel switching because we get a lot cleaner, and I kind of know what Ryan's good at doing, you know, and also at the same time I also know that he's good at regulating what I'm doing. So when I'm doing something and I might not be overly confident about it, if he really likes it, then I know it's got to be good. But if he doesn't, and he's like, nah, it sounds like blah, 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 and then he'll start to play around with something, and, you know, I'll be like, nah, that's not very good either. Give me it back. And then I'll play it. But in the process of that, we always come out with something much better.
No.
Which is part of the reason why we're sitting here fumbling through these parts. We practice playing live because you can practice all you want in your bedroom or at home. That doesn't help. Touring and playing shows with the live element, you know, where things go wrong and they don't sound right, and, you know, somebody's having problems over here or this other thing, or there's no light on the stage or whatever it is, that's really where you get your practice. Yeah. When you get through that and you play a lot of shows, that's when you get good. Because just sitting at home practicing, it doesn't help.
As soon as people show up, all of your equipment will fuck up. Yeah. Your guitar will be out of tune. Yeah. Everything will go wrong, and the lights will be off right when you need to look. You're like, whoa! You know what I mean? You're like, fuck, what do? You know, you got to fix it just like that. In fact, you don't even have time usually. Usually you have to go, okay, my guitar's out of tune, but how out of tune is it? So maybe you hold your string more to get it up while you're trying to play chords. It's really hard. I started playing really late when I was like 17.
Me too. I started I mean, I got my first guitar when I was 16, but I didn't play. I actually had a guitar teacher, and he quit because he said he couldn't teach me anything. He's a friend of mine too. It's really funny. We'd make a joke about it always because I didn't want to learn what he was trying to. It didn't make any sense to me. He was trying to teach me like scales and all this stuff, and I was just like, I just want to play like AC/DC songs. And he wouldn't show them to me. Like he would just insist that I learn the circle of fifths and, you know, all these different scales, and So eventually what happened is I would go to concerts and I would watch the guitar players through binoculars because I never had good seats. And I just started noticing that it looked a lot easier than...
They were just going like this.
Oh. Everything was like... It's like, that's really easy. How come you never showed me that? Yeah. So then I just taught myself, basically, and I think there's some sort of gene or something that comes from somewhere in my family. I haven't figured it out, because my cousin's also a really good musician as well. So somewhere down the line, somebody had some musical abilities, and my son, too, as well, can be very musical if he wants to be.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, I'm Ryan Shuck from Dead by Sunrise, Julian K, and Orgy. I play guitar in all bands and sing in all the bands. For Dead by Sunrise, we actually decided to veer away from our custom gear that Amir and I always have made for ourselves and our various bands. In Orgy and in Julian K, we have our own custom model by Yamaha. And I typically play a 7-string. So in this band, I'm playing a 6-string, which is unusual for me. And I'm playing more of like a classic brand like Gibson, because the band is a little bit more of a, organics, rock, more classic tone to it. So we're also using orange amps. We run 2 at the same time. Normally this is a 50 watt, but we're using 100 out here because we're in Europe and we couldn't get a hold of a 50 watt. But 50 watt actually breaks up a lot more, and it has a more growly low end. But with orange amps, you can't really go wrong at all. They just sound amazing. I'm playing Gibson Dots Studio, really inexpensive guitar, so no one has any excuse to not have really good tone, because these guitars sound fucking amazing. They're like $300. So in contrast to Amir's like $3,000 Les Paul Jr. All my effects are basically all the stuff we did on the record. We went back in and mimicked them on this Line 6 M13, and it's a really straight ahead effects unit, really easy to use, sort of replaces the whole expensive ground control type of setup. I tried to boil all of the effects into some more basic type of effects. That way I didn't have a whole lot of foot dance going on up here, because I also have to sing. So sometimes Amir will actually play stuff that I played on the record, so that I'm more available to sing and play, because it's pretty difficult to play complicated guitar stuff, work an effects pedal, and sing at the same time. So it kind of keeps me, Amir sort of takes over a lot of the heavy lifting with the guitar, so that I can perform and do the things that I have to do.
I'm Amir from Dead by Sunrise, and I'm here to kind of show you around my gear. I guess we can start with the guitar I've been using. It's probably one of the main guitars I'm using right now. It's a Gibson Les Paul Jr. It's a reissue version of it, it's actually really excellent. I have a vintage one that we recorded the album with, and this one sounds amazing. I mean, I can't complain. I also use an Epiphone, which you can't really see. I'm a big fan of the soap bar pickups. I like those a lot. Anyway, it's going into a Line 6 pedal. This is where we do all of our effects and amp switching, channel switching, all of that kind of stuff. Really simple and easy to carry around. And then amp-wise, we're using orange. And I've combined 2 different amps for in stereo, so we get a really full sound. I use this little box here to do the channel switching, which is controlled by MIDI from the Line 6 pedal. And so when I'm doing effects or changing channels, that basically does it all. That one little box will tell the amps everything to do. Everything, actually all the amps are totally stock. 30 watt speakers, Celestian speakers in this that come stock, and sounds amazing. Really happy with it.
Brandon. I play bass in Dead by Sunrise. I use the new Yamaha BBs that came out, the 4-string models. I use a pedal board for basically just effects, a couple distortions, a couple different choruses. I have a couple different tunings as well. I use orange gear at 8200 for the bass head, along with a couple different DIs. I have a clean DI and I have a post DI that gets affected. So there's always a clean channel and always a affected, distorted channel coming from the head. Along with using Yamaha basses, we also use Dunlop picks, and they've been endorsing us as well as with my strings. They've been really good, and I use slightly different gauges for different tunings, and I'm really happy with the playability and the function of them. And that's all.
My name is Elias Andra, and I play drums in Dead by Sunrise and Julian K. My setup basically is it's a rock configuration endorsed by Mapex Drums. So this is the configuration that I use for Dead by Sunrise. I also use Sabian cymbals, which is part of my sound. I use Vic Firth drumsticks. I have 2 snares that I use because in some of the songs we actually have different parts, and this is what works for me. I use a double bass pedal, which gives me the rock metal type sound, and that's really about it. I mean, other than that, I'm cool with everything.
I'm Fu. I play keyboards for Dead by Sunrise. I had to design a system that I could fly with, so I had to make it very, very small. I chose a small keyboard controller. It's my MPK49. This fits in my suitcase, and then the rest of this stuff fits in a little case I can fly with. I'm running backing tracks to play loops and those kind of things, a Logic on this one. And main stage is also a Logic product on this one. This has all my keyboard splits. You can see the things that are kind of split for where different parts are going to come in. And then this is a lemur. It's a programmable screen. I could draw different types of objects and create different types of controllers that I need per song. So you can turn things on and off, or hit them like pads, or play them like a joystick. And that's about it.